Hey everybody, it's Kim Danger and it's Monday. It's time for another edition of Carpool Coaching. I'm coming to you live from Minnesota and it's kind of cloudy today. Actually, it's very cloudy today, but our hot snap has broken and it's 60 degrees, which actually feels very comfortable. I was camping over the weekend and it was super fun, but the heat was flaring and the mosquitoes were out, so it's kind of nice to be back inside and have a little bit of a cooler temperature here. So let me know, what's the weather like where you are? Where are you? How is your week going so far? Hopefully you're off to a great start and reflecting on the fact that we are in the last week of the month. It's September, and usually at the beginning of the month I challenge you to set goals and create new habits and just think outside of the box and think about who you want to be at the end of the month. That was kind of the theme of our Miracle Morning group. When we started, I asked all of our challengers to imagine where they'd like to be 30 days from now, so we talked a lot about that. And we talked a lot about habit formation and how it all comes into play. And the truth is, forming new healthy habits especially are not easy. We get stuck in our comfort zones. We get sucked back into the same old habits over and over again. So today I just want to talk a little bit about how and why that happens. So when I go into a challenge group, and I see evidence of this manifest in my groups, because the first phase of habit formation is simply naming your goal. And that's usually the easy part. And the first few days are super fun. It's novel. You're motivated. You've got this vision of what you want the outcome to be like. It's fun and it's exciting. And that's usually what I call like the novelty part of it. And it's when people start their fitness program, they're gung-ho, they're super motivated, and usually there's a reason why they have decided to make that leap into health and fitness or level up into, something that, they're going to finally lose the last 10 to 15 pounds, or they're actually going to start their journey. And usually, there's something that motivates that. So I try to get to the bottom of the why. Why do you really want to make a change now? Because if you don't get in touch with that and the real underlying reasons behind all that, that novelty definitely will wear off. And usually it's after the first week. So when I run fitness programs and challenge groups, it's that first week where everyone's checking in, everyone's commenting, everyone's excited, everyone's sticking to their plan. But week 2 is where things get really dicey. And that's not just with health and fitness, you guys. That's with any type of habit that you want to put into practice, whether it's, learning a new skill or just forming a new healthy habit. Week 2, or days, I would say 10 to 20, is when that novelty has completely worn off. It's week 2 and 3, basically, that's where I see my challengers kind of fall off the face of the earth. And, I reach out to them and I get excuses. I've been busy. My kid got sick. My mom needed my help. I hear it. I mean, we all have busy lives. But the thing is, if you don't keep in touch with your why and work through those times when you really don't feel like sticking to it, that habit has no chance of survival. So it's that phase 2, or, those days 10 to 20 that you really have to watch out for when it comes to creating a new habit and sticking to something new. So I know that, the people that can work through that period and do those things that they know they need to do even when they don't feel like it, they're the people that are going to have this success. They're the ones that aren't buying their own bullshit. They're the ones that, they recognize their own excuses in their minds, because I've heard almost every excuse there is, you guys, and it's not that I've even heard them, it's that I've told myself the same exact thing. So when I start making excuses for myself, I have to call myself out on my own BS, because I know it's not true. It's just, okay, we know it's not fun to work out all the time. We know it's not easy to create healthy menu plans. We know that it's time consuming. It's a lot easier and more fun just to, order a pizza or whatever it is. But if you go back to those reasons why you're motivated to make a change and really dig deep, that's what's going to get you over the hump. So you really have to be in touch with your why and envision the outcome and how you're going to feel when it all comes into practice. But the thing is, people don't realize that middle phase, the phase where, the novelty is worn off and things get really tough and the excuses start to roll, that phase is actually very short-lived as well. So if you can get through those next couple weeks or those next 10 days, you know, like I would say days 10 to 20, things start getting easier again. And then all of a sudden, you know, after about a month, after about 30 days, you start to go into autopilot. You start to put those habits on, you know, just like you don't have to think about them, they just happen. And that's still kind of a tenuous period where, you know, your habits aren't set in stone yet, but they start to require a lot less mental energy to actually get them done. So if you can get through that middle period, get to the point where you've been doing the same thing for 30 days and just keep it up, it gets so much easier, guys. So I wanted you guys to think about this before October, because we only have a few days left in this month. And if you found that you created these goals and you fell off track in September, you still have another chance. I mean, that's the cool thing about health and fitness. As long as you're still alive, you still have chances to improve your health and wellness. So let's talk a little bit too about the autopilot phase, and like when you do get into that stage where things become a little bit easier, it's also important for you guys to have cues. And I gleaned a lot of this information from the book The Power of Habit by Charles Duhigg, which is amazing. If you have not read that book, I would highly recommend it. It's kind of a geeky sort of book, so if you struggle with, you know, like science and psychology, you may not like it, but I liked it. And he in the book he talks about the habit loop and creating cues for your habit to be put into play, and then creating rewards. And so for you, a cue might be setting your workout clothes out every night so that in the morning when you wake up, you see them right away. Or it could be, a cue could just be the clock, and you know that at 8 o'clock, that's when you go downstairs and get on the treadmill. So that's kind of my cue. That's when I typically this month have been doing my treadmill workouts. So for me, the clock is the cue. And then you know what I do? You guys will kind of laugh, because when I do my workout, my reward is I watch Hulu and I watch YouTube videos and I do whatever when I'm on that treadmill, and it's kind of a guilty pleasure of mine. Today, I actually did an extra mile because I was watching The Real Housewives of New York City. I started a new season and I wanted to finish the episode, so I actually got in over 4 miles. So that was kind of my little reward to myself. A lot of my challengers, they have their superfood shake when they're done with their workout, and it tastes great, and that's their reward. So you got to create that cue that tells you that it is time to go work out or whatever your new habit may be. And then you also have to reward yourself in a non-fattening way. You guys, you can't go give yourself a slice of pizza, and that can't be your reward. So it has to be something healthy, or at least something not harmful. I'm not saying The Real Housewives is anything healthy to watch, but you know, it's not making me fat watching it. So anyway, that's what I had for you guys today. Just a little bit of Monday motivation. Wanted you guys to get some insight into how habits are formed, so that if you do have goals for October, you can kind of get inside your own head and figure out why or why not your habits may not be working for you. I also posted a link on the page today about our Level Up in October group. If you want to create new habits and you want the support of a coach and some peer support and encouragement, I would highly recommend that you reach out to us. We post daily. We have check-ins. If you do go missing, I'll try to track you down, but I do want you guys to be self-motivated when you come into this. You have to know why you're doing it, and you have to actually be willing to put in the work even when it gets tough. So, hey Karen, how are you doing? Good to see you. So anyway, that's all I had today, guys. Have a great Monday.